This talk is about pregnancy and how to be a dad in relation to your emotions with your pregnant wife. If this is your first pregnancy, strap yourself in, get ready. It's difficult. It's difficult for fathers, and it's much more difficult for mothers. Mothers have this being living inside of them, and they experience it in a way that we don't understand, can't understand. As you go into the experience of your wife and her changing body and the growth of this new member of your family, one consideration that is extremely important is how you feel in relation to your wife, how you feel in relation to the child. Because we're males and have been raised in a culture that discourages our emotional breadth and width, meaning we've lived in a culture that doesn't want us and has discouraged us from being emotionally vulnerable, talking about emotions of fear, emotions of apprehension, emotions of powerlessness. The standard we've grown with is of the macho male who's constantly in control. While there's a great deal to be said about the courage of forging on when, let's say, the house is on fire and you need to go in there and get your child, there's a difference when there's not an emergency and we are experiencing feelings of maybe danger, difficulty, threat that influence our relationship with our wives, with our kids, and we don't recognize them. We don't allow ourselves to speak them because the culture has told us not to. We've been taught, most of us by our fathers, not to do this sort of thing. You just strap it up and keep on going. When your wife is pregnant, she is more sensitive, as you already know, and she experiences things very intensely, and that includes your emotions. She'll be more tuned in, and she may be hyper-tuned in beyond what you're feeling, but she'll also pick up on your feelings. And at this time is a very valuable opportunity for us as men to begin to monitor our emotions so that our wives are exposed to what we want them exposed to emotionally. What you choose to feel for your wife ultimately becomes what your child experiences as well. The idea that we are in emotional communication with our child inside our wife is not far-fetched. Scientifically validated. You can get on the internet and search for neonatal emotional experience, and you'll find out that the infants inside women experience the emotions that the women experience. And the topic for this discussion is your emotions as part of the environment. What you feel for your wife is felt by your child, inside your wife, from the first day. And from then on, as this child grows and becomes increasingly separate isn't exactly the right word, but becomes its own individual self. This child continues to feel its mother's emotions for you. And your determination of what your wife feels from you is the point here. So I ask this question: what is it that you want your child to feel the world is out there, outside its mother, inside its mother, but also outside? What emotion do you want your child to feel? Kindness, appreciation, humor, acceptance, welcoming. All these and more are available. Realistically, the day is still the day, and you'll run into difficulties, including your energy with your wife and the difficulties of doing everything from dishes to trash to paying bills and going to work. And this is where courage comes into being a father. It's not about dominating. It's not about being the man. It's about accepting your emotional process as part of your child's development, part of your wife's experience, and making that emotional input from you the best that you know how. For me, I wish you kindness. I wish you compassion for yourself and for your wife and your child.